Good morning, everybody. Matt with Slice here. I'm going to give some of the guys on Instagram a minute to get going, and we'll talk about some knives today. What's going on, fellas? How's everybody doing this morning? Hello there, Miss Maves. I know you like those larger knives. Got that Dalbor Unnamed listing this morning. Mr. Bailey. Landsman Customs, CMF Metalworks. What is going on, everybody? Almost had to take a boat to work this morning. We had a crazy rainstorm come through. I mean, streets flood and all kinds of fun stuff. And apparently we have some unbelievably cold weather coming our way. Right now it is a brisk, it's not even brisk, slightly above average 60-something degrees. It was a balmy, I think 81 degrees yesterday. And it's supposed to rain every day between now and Monday. And I think it was Sunday night. It's supposed to be 18 degrees. So there's that. Jared Ritter, what's up, dude? Mr. Borgia, I see you there. It's evening in Germany here. We are just getting warmed up over here. Can y'all hear that snap? That is this week's highlight piece, one that's already available on the website. Man, it's a rocket. But anyway, Chris, what's up, dude? I know, Andrew. We didn't really have much of a winter this year. We kind of skipped over it, and apparently we're going to get a little taste of it here in February. Hopefully it'll stay cool enough we can kill off some mosquitoes and all those other wonderful bugs, but I doubt it. So, Chris, what's up, my man? But anyway, enough about that crap. Let's talk about some knives. So this past weekend, I had the pleasure of driving to Jackson, Mississippi, and hanging out with Brian Brown of Brian Brown Knives, Mr. George Hicks Jr., Nick Lehman, and we got together and we talked about knives for the better part of a day. And always nice to hang out with the knife guys. If you are on Facebook and in some of the Facebook groups, you probably saw a post from me or George or Nick regarding the meetup and all the knives that we brought and the big spread that was on the table and everything, and it was a good time for sure. So I'm glad I took the time to do that, and I appreciate those boys coming out. If you guys have not checked out Brian Brown's work as of recently, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. So not only did he do a couple of production runs, really, Jason? You had to go there? Wasn't my party to crash. It's at Brian's house. So, but I'm working on another meet, and we're going to do it here in Baton Rouge. And you're already going to get an invite, so there you go. Anyway, check out Brian's work. I hadn't handled any of his knives since, I believe, sometime in 2018. And the development, what do you think of the Dimitri knife? Pretty sure you got one. You got one of two, and I have the other. I still love it. I want to know your opinion. Let's see here. Jesse, I'm going to talk about that knife here shortly, so we'll get to it. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about it first, as soon as I finish my thoughts here for the day. But if you guys have not checked out Brian's work, you should definitely do so. I had not handled any of his stuff since 2018, I believe it was, and the progression from then until now is just absolutely unbelievable. And so I'm hoping Brian's going to be building me something maybe later on this year. We'll have to see what happens there. But his production runs too. Hey, what's up, man? His production runs are fantastic, and the quality is exceptional. The design is fantastic. I mean, just Brian's got it going on, guys. Y'all should check him out. So with that, we'll circle back around to what's going on in the knife world and all that fun stuff. Tristan, what's up, dude? And so first, let's talk about the knives listing this week. So Jesse dropped a comment in there asking about particular knife, and he thinks he has one of the two that supposedly exist. I don't know that for a fact. Mr. Dearman, what's up, dude? And so we're going to talk about it. So I wrote his name down so I don't butcher it, and I'm hoping I pronounce it correctly. So this is Dimitri October. We just got... I don't even know what the heck that means, Mr. Borgia. Dimitri October October model. And that's what this guy is. So I really like the design on this knife. I think it's got a very nice shape. It's very comfortable in the hand. And this particular one has a 3-inch. What I am assuming, the maker is Russian, so I'm assuming this is some Russian Sanmai Damascus here. It does come with a really nice presentation box. Is it handy? Let me grab it real quick. Hang on. Most knife makers, with the exception of a few, obviously, don't really do a lot in the presentation department. And so when somebody does put that thought into it, it always impresses me. Might not be a big thing for many, but for me, it just shows they put some extra thought into that. And so this is the box that comes with the October knife. And there's a padded zipper pouch when you open it. And in addition to, it's held in place by magnets. This is actually very similar in functionality to the boxes we use in the jewelry store. But magnets holding the front flap closed. And then when we open it, we've got a patch and then another one. And then this is his COA. So you can see there, got his logo on it. And then it's folded. And then it's got all the specs on it here. And this knife doesn't state a number. Hey, Mr. Leak, what's up, dude? Reese, what's up, dude? This one is dated August of 2020. It's not serialized or numbered in any way. Chris, I'm with you, dude. Like, packaging for me can sometimes make or break any product. And it's just a thing for me. And I know everybody doesn't care about it, but for some reason I do. I put a lot of stock in it. So that's what comes with it. Really like the presentation on this particular knife. So very, very nice build. I just like how the flipper tab is integrated, kind of worked into the design a little bit, and really nice flipping action, rock solid lockup. I really like the pattern on the Damascus too, or I'm sorry, the Sanmai Damascus. And I got that, this almost looks like a nickel band. I don't think it's nickel. It very well could be. Once again, no breakdown of the Sanmai, who made it or so on like that, but some nice custom turned pivot screws there. Some nice milling all along both sides of the handle. Makes it more exciting than the maker cares about the entire... That's it, dude. 100%. So it's got a Damascus pocket clip done in a nice blasted finish as well. And so this has just been a really nice knife to flip. When I've had the week's listings out and I was putting all the specs in for the email blast and putting them on the site and things like that, I found myself actually flipping this one the most. This is kind of in my ideal size range as well. So the Dimitri October October is a 3-inch Sanmai Damascus blade. It is 7.1 inches overall length. For my man Chris, I've got 4.7 ounces on the scale, and it's going to cost $15.95. And then it's got, I didn't mention the titanium standoff there as well. So that is her, guys, the October. All right. Let's go to the smallest knife this week. This is Glenn R. Hoeven. Glenn R. Hoeven's latest model. This is called the Link. And a much smaller knife than I actually thought it was. Damn, you got 4 point. So this is actually... I saw Glenn working on some of these, and I didn't pay attention very much to the size. I didn't try to put it to scale with, if it was in his hand or sitting on a bench or anything like that. But this knife was surprisingly small when I opened the package and it came in. But to give you the specs on it, it is a 2.7 inch, deep etched and polished Damasteel blade. It has polished Mokutai bolsters, backspacer, and pocket clip. Polished zirconium scales. The entire knife is assembled with hidden hardware, and then it's got Glenn's just crazy-ass custom pivot work. The seam between the backspacer and the liners and the scales, if they weren't different materials with contrasting finishes, you would swear it was an integral. Like, it is just, it's perfect. I mean, it is just a flawless blending of all of those materials together. So I bet when this knife was in its raw finishes before he started coloring everything, I bet it just looked like one giant piece of material. But the length is a 2.7-inch blade. It is 6.7 inches overall length, and it weighs in at 4.1 ounces. That zirconium and that Damasteel definitely adding to the weight on this guy for such a small knife. And this guy is going to be priced at $37.95. All hidden hardware too as well, guys. A lot of custom touches on this knife. So that is the Glen R. Hoeven link. Drew, what's up, dude? All right. Let's go from one end of the spectrum to the other. So we talked about the smallest knife in the batch. Let's talk about the biggest one. Definitely by far the most popular knife this week in terms of inquiries, people asking about and wanting to know more, action videos, things like that. And so I teased about this one last week as the preview piece. And this thing is just such an animal. It is just such a big knife. So this is a Dalbor Burgum unnamed model. This is a full Mokutai integral handle. For those of y'all not familiar with what an integral is, it means that the handle is crafted from one solid piece of material. And in this case, it started life as a giant chunk of Mokutai. And so both sides of the handle, backspacer, all one giant piece. And then it has this nasty and sinister looking sandmide Damascus blade with a mirror polish core on it. A couple of specs on the unnamed. 4.2-inch blade, 9.5 inches overall, weighing in at 8.7 ounces. Does he do any bills that aren't integral? Such a badass knife. Gigantor. No, we listed a knife that definitely deserved the Gigantor name last year. I'm blanking on the maker's name right now. It was the first time I'd ever handled their work, but that particular knife, it's, who made that knife? It weighed over a pound. It was 17, 18 ounces, something like that. But it was also like a foot long or something crazy. It was just a massive knife. I'm blanking on the maker, but he's down in Florida, I believe. There was a question in there. Let me see something. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Jason. Somebody asked if Dalbor does anything that isn't an integral. And he does have some. Was it Harvey? I think it was. Nope, not Harvey. Gigantor Jr. That'll work. It was not Phil Harvey. I know who you're talking about. His stuff is insane, too. This core is definitely beautifully polished and just such an incredible build. This one has some gorgeous Zircutai custom pivots as well as a Zircutai pocket clip there. Very nice contrast with the zirconium in the mix with the full Mokutai handle. But, so, on the unnamed, 4.2-inch sandmide Damascus blade, mirror polish core. Oh, I know the knife, Chris, the Phil Harvey pieces. The blades on those things are just insane. Mr. Shapiro, what's up, dude? But, no, there was another knife. I'm blanking on the maker right now, but it was a huge knife. It was the biggest knife I'd ever sold. I'll have to dig it up, and I'll talk about it next week. Just as a reminder, let me see, do I got a pen here? I need to write it down because I'll forget by the end of this live stream. Hang on. I'm going to put it in my notes, and I'll remember to talk about it next week. All right. Alrighty. So, this guy's going to be listing for $49.95. 4.2-inch blade, 9.5 inches overall length, 8.7 ounces. And Mr. Shapiro, glad to have you here, man. So that is the Dalbor Unnamed. All right. Let's talk about the other full dress frame lock that we have in the mix. It is also the heaviest knife of the week, mostly because of the significant amount of Damacor that is found on this knife. So, this is a Direware M8. This has a gorgeous 3.4-inch Damacor Sanmai Damascus blade. Jason, I don't know which Jason Drew is talking to. It's either you or Shapiro. I have no clue. Hey, Mr. Brian Brown. We were just talking about you, dude. We're only talking shit, though. Nothing good to say. So, for those of you who are not familiar with this material, this is Damasteel's version of Sanmai. And I did not write down the alloy mix, and I always forget what the heck is in it. But I know that the jacket is RWL34. And then it's got their... either way, same. Fair enough. I wouldn't expect anything less. All right, well, as long as you know what to expect, then we're all on the same page. So, the Direware M8, both. Well, there you go, double whammy. Drew, I think you're just saying that, but we're going to go with it. 3.4-inch Damacor blade, 8.4 inches overall length. The handle is entirely dark tie with massive amounts of zirconium in it. The backspacer, pocket clip, and pivot collars are also Damacor, bringing this guy to a very hefty total of 9.6 ounces. And it's going to cost $3,250. But, having said all of that, this is probably one of my favorite material combinations. Damasteel, how much does that beast weigh? 9.6 ounces. Damasteel and dark tie. It is just such a great combination. Grosser Rosen pattern is also one of my favorites. That and Thor. But I love that dark tie. So, just a chunk of knife, guys. 9.6 ounces on this one once again. So, just to recap on the Direware M8, 3.4-inch Damacor blade, matching Damacor backspacer, pocket clip, and pivot collars, full dark tie handles, and it's 8.4 inches in overall length. All right. Next up, let's talk about this snappy little booger. Drew's getting very specific now. All right. Dustin Turpin, Peril. Dustin Turpin probably has one of the best hand rubs in the game, in my opinion. And just a hair over my Omega. So, the Peril. 3.5-inch hand rub satin blade. Beautiful milled and stone-washed titanium handles with a matching pocket clip. Dustin's signature 3-piece backspacer from 3 different pieces of titanium. Custom pivots. Satin titanium hardware. 8.1 inches overall length. 6.2 ounces. $895. I've always liked my 2 favorite things about Dustin's knives: the actions and the backspacers. Those are the 2 things that I think are just his signature. Fantastic flipping actions and his hand rub too. But I've got a few of Dustin's knives on the site available right now, actually. There's a Persian that I love, but this is a Peril. So that is the Dustin Turpin Peril, guys. Once again, 3.5-inch hand rub satin blade. Everyday Carry, what's up, dude? 8.1 overall, 6.2 ounces, $895. All right. Last but not least, the knife maker that you would swear is part machine based on how many knives he brings to a knife show. And the fact that he brings the dozens and dozens that he does and doesn't bring any of them home says a lot about his work. So, Enrique Pena, semi-dirty diesel. 3.6-inch, 2-tone finish blade, stonewash bevels and swedge, satin flats, blasted titanium bolsters and matching pocket clip, lightning strike carbon fiber scales. and then his signature geared style backspacer. It is 8.7 inches in overall length, and it's weighing in at 7.3 ounces. And this guy's going to be $1,150. One of the things that I really like about this knife, and this is just in Pena's work in general. Spelled that wrong, but you get it. I knew what you meant. Yep, that's right. It was a Pena. I still remember that. One of the things that I like about Pena's liner locks is actually the lock bar relief cut, or lack thereof, that he does. And I don't know if you can see it in here or not, but instead of doing, let me grab another liner lock. Do I have one? Let's see. See, this one doesn't even, Glenn doesn't even do one. Well, you're going to know what's in my pocket. But so this is what's in my pocket today, but I'm showing you because of the lock bar relief cut right there. You can see it, that little gap in between the scale and the liner. But instead of Enrique doing that so he can get a nice even seam on the outside, he puts these 3 holes right along the inside there. And that gives the lock bar the necessary relief it needs to be a little bit more pliable. But really like the flipping action, buttery smooth lock release, nice smooth drop. Chris, I would agree with that. It's actually one of the things that I always describe Enrique as. I know that every single time I get a knife from him, I know exactly how it's going to be. I know exactly what finishes to expect. I know exactly what type of action to expect. I mean, it's very, very predictable, and consistency for something like that is always perfect. But I love the action for a slightly larger knife like this guy. It's just a great flipping action on it. So the Pena Semi-Dirty Diesel, 3.6-inch two-tone finish blade, 8.7 inches overall length. It weighs in at 7.3 ounces, and it's $1,150. Yeah, Jason, I agree, man. I've always liked that about his stuff. So that is her. All right. Every week, I grab a knife out the safe that's currently available on the site, and this is actually one of the knives that I brought to my meetup this past weekend, and I hadn't shown it on the live stream in a while, and I'm actually shocked that I still have this knife because Andre Thorburn stuff is so fantastic. So this is an Andre Thorburn L44. Fires like a rocket ship. His signature dark etch on the blade and the bolsters, which are all Damasteel. Lightning strike carbon fiber scales, blasted titanium clip, file worked liners. I mean, guys, this knife's like $1,800. There's nobody else you can get a knife like this from for this much money. For this little money. I mean, there's nobody else that I'm aware of you can get this much knife for that little money. IKBS, I know, he's got the best Damasteel etch in the game. Love this thing. Another maker that every time you pick up one of his knives, you know exactly how it's going to be. Just perfectly well made. Take care, Chris. Enjoy your day, man. So this is already available on the site. Y'all just search Andre Thorburn, or even just Andre, and it'll come up. So, all right. Preview piece. Listing next week. Look at this little guy. Been on a little bit of a Walter Randolph streak lately. This is a Walter Randolph Super Mini Helios. Hand rub satin blade, stippled titanium handles, and then Alpha Knife Supply Timascus pocket clip, pivot collars, and floating backspacer. But guys, this thing, it just fires like a rocket. All of Walter's knives have great actions. There's no denying that. But sometimes some knives just have a little something extra. And that's exactly what this guy has. So this guy's going to be listing next week. Agreed, Drew. I mean, just great knives from Andre Thorburn. But this guy's going to be listed next week. So more details to come on it. But this is a Walter Randolph Super Mini Helios. And then you've already slightly seen what I've got in my pocket today. I have my Jeremy Marsh Mini Vanquish. Damasteel blade, Zircuti bolsters, Zircuti beveled spacer, and sculpted clip, black carbo quart scales. Oh, and a little bit more of a rare item, S-shaped, hand-fitted. So, That's what's in my pocket today. All right, for those of y'all late to the party, I'll do a quick run through on the knives again, just very, very brief. If y'all have any questions as I roll through these, obviously drop it in the comments. But first up, can't beat 'em, Marsh. No, you can't, dude. Dimitri October model. Lazada. That's it. That's the maker. Yeah. 3-inch semi-Damascus blade, 7.1 inches overall with the handles being milled and blasted titanium. Custom turn pivots. The big knife you were talking about earlier. Yep, that's her. Matte finish Damascus pocket clip and titanium standoff. 4.7 ounces. $15.95, guys. Hoeven link with a deep etched and polished Damasteel blade, measuring in at 2.7 inches. Overall length of 6.7 and weighing in at 4.1 ounces. Polished Mokutai bolsters, backspacer, and pocket clip, polished zirconium scales, Glenn's custom pivots, all assembled with hidden hardware. The Hoeven link. The big boy this week. Dalbor Unnamed model. Mirror polished core on this 4.2-inch Sanmai Damascus blade. Full Mokutai integral handle. Zircutai pocket clip. And pivots. I love these Zircutai pivots. They are so badass looking. 4.2-inch blade, 9.5 overall, 8.7 ounces, $49.95. Dustin Turpin Peril, 3.5-inch hand rub satin blade, milled and stonewashed titanium handles and pocket clip, signature 3-piece backspacer, 8.1 inches overall. Take care, bud. Have a good day. 8.1 overall, 6.2 ounces, $895, guys. Enrique Pena, semi-dirty diesel, 3.6-inch, two-tone finish blade, blasted titanium bolsters and matching pocket clip, lightning strike carbon fiber scales, and his signature geared style spacer. 3.6-inch blade, 8.7 overall, 7.3 ounces, $1,150. And last but not least, love the materials on this guy. And it is the heaviest, as I talked about earlier. Direware M8 full dress frame lock flipper. Damasteel's version of Sanmai Damascus with their Damacore blade here in the Grosser Rosen pattern, measuring in at 3.4 inches. Overall, 8.4 inches, weighing in at 9.6 ounces and costing $32.50. It's got matching Damacore pivot collars and backspacer and pocket clip with full dark tie handles there, guys. So that is the Direware M8. And then the piece that I grabbed out the safe that's already available on the site, the Andre Thorburn L44. All the details about this knife can be found on the site already. If you just search Andre, it'll come up. Or L44. Love the action on that knife. It's so snappy. Listing next week, the Walter Randolph Super Mini Helios with a hand rub satin blade and stippled titanium handles, Damascus pocket clip and backspacer and pivot collars. Listing next week. And then, just again, real quick, my Jeremy Marsh Mini Vanquish in the pocket today. What happens if I search Andre 3000? Probably no results. What's with the 3000? What am I missing there? So, that is the Marsh. Alrighty, boys and girls. With that, I'm going to get on out of here. But, as always, I appreciate y'all all tuning in. And thanks for giving us a follow. Thanks for subscribing to Always One Dreams here. See? There you go. But Outcast. Got it. But with that, guys, I'm going to head on out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Have a safe weekend. And I will see. I like country music, guys. I'm sorry. But there, I said it. Y'all have a great day. I'm getting out of here before the shit talking starts. Later, boys. Just Waffle House menus. Later.